Hey, 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 welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're having a wonderful day. It's a beautiful day here in New York City today. And I am excited to be able to do this profitable marketing session today. My name is Janet Soriano, and I am your next level marketing coach. We're here to help you create a profitable business every Wednesday. We come here and we give you the best strategies, tips, and things that I have learned throughout the years of doing my own marketing and putting myself out there so you can be able to have a profitable business, right? So if today you have noticed that for any reason that you're not feeling motivated to market your business, today's profitable marketing session is for you. I'm so excited because it is about really understanding how to run your business even when you're not feeling motivated, right? So I had a client reach out to me a few weeks back because she didn't know why she was feeling unmotivated in her business, right? She needed to up her marketing game. She needed to put herself out there and be visible, but she just wasn't feeling motivated to do so, right? So of course, she wanted to get results. She is, she's a go-getter person. But for some reason, she reached out because her motivation was low and she needed support in order to shift that around, right? So we hopped on this 45-minute idea to action call. And by the way, it's totally free. You can go to janetsoriano.com/coachings to get one of my profitable idea to action calls where we can be able to help you establish what are the next best steps for you to be able to move your business forward and become profitable. Okay, so in today's profitable marketing session, we're going to learn 3 strategies that I helped her, that I teach her so she can be able to shift around from hiding and being totally unmotivated in her business to actually rolling her sleeves, feeling motivated, and actually getting visible, right? And what you're gonna find out is that these strategies they're really like kind of like obvious to the sense, but when you don't really execute on them, when you don't really do these strategies, that's when things get overwhelmed. That's when you feel like you have no reason why to move your business forward, and then you are paused or you stop your marketing consistently, right? So you start getting into your head because you don't know what is going on in your business, what is going on with you, that you are not feeling motivated to market your business, right? Okay, so let's go straight in. But first I want to tell you about her situation, right? Because every situation is different and there's many reasons why you could feel unmotivated in your business. But when we hopped on a call together, she told me her situation, right? Of course, I'm not going to share the details, but I am going to put out there that she just had too much on her plate, right? Her expectations of how she needed to operate in her business was like driving her to burnout simply because she was working a full-time job. She was taking care of 2 kids, and she was also being the sole person doing all the housework around, running all the errands, right? So there's like no wonder why she felt so exhausted and so overwhelmed when it came to working in her business, and she felt like she wasn't motivated to fully execute on her expectation of how she wanted to execute, right? So in fact, with this situation, I completely understand why she would be, demotivated or like not motivated at all to market her business. She just simply didn't have the capacity to actually have the energy or even the time to allocate for her marketing plan to go as smooth as she wants, right? But my client wasn't also overwhelmed about that. She was overwhelmed also because as a business owner, she had expectations that meant that in order to be successful in her business, she needed to work 8 hours a day in her business, writing nonstop content, creating new products every week. And that level of execution wasn't possible for her, right? In the stage and, in the time that she was in, right? Where her kids are small, they need her attention and stuff, right? So when creating her marketing plan, she didn't take into consideration that she needed to put her life obligations on that marketing plan, right? That she needed to understand that taking consistent action meant that she needed to her marketing plan to revolve around her and not her revolving around her marketing plan, right? So what do I mean about that? She didn't take into consideration that her life at this stage and moment where she was in her life was pretty busy, right? That she didn't have the time and the energy and the capacity that would have someone who is, who doesn't have kids, someone who is living on their own, etc. Like, things like that, right? So not putting that perspective that her life would stop her marketing plan from being fully executed actually is what made her feel overwhelmed, feel struggling within, to market her business consistently. So if she were to take consideration that her life is part of her marketing plan as well, then she would be really honest with the amount of time, the amount of energy, the amount of, capacity she had to actually execute and deliver on what she wanted to deliver when it came to her business, right? So this, like, not really taking into consideration your life, your your obligations, the things that you need to take care on your day-to-day living, it is a critical part of your marketing plan. And most of the part, especially if you're just a business owner, you're starting small and you're a one-stop person, like one-stop shop, like you're wearing a lot of hats in your business, and you're also wearing a lot of hats in your life, right? You're the caretaker, you're the one providing food, you're the one running the errands, doing laundry, doing a lot of things. And this reminded of me back, I guess, like 1 year ago, or last year, like the beginning of last year, and then a few years back, when I was working full time at the ER, and I was running all the errands in my house, cleaning my house, taking care of the laundry and cooking and taking care of my right now he's 4, but by then he was 2 years old. So it was a lot on my plate to be able to expect that I can fully execute in my business the way I wanted to, right? And it wasn't realistic to create a plan where I needed to, to post 7 days a week, where I needed to create content at a max capacity, or that I needed to create a new product it just wasn't realistic. And it was never going to get done because I didn't have the energy, the capacity, or the time to get all those things done that I wanted to get in my business, right? So what I did instead is I took in consideration that at this moment in that stage of my life, I did have some level of energy and time to allocate to my business. So I needed to use that energy very strategically. And I needed to understand that I couldn't execute as as a person who was, fully running a business with a team, right? I didn't have a team at the time. So my client doesn't have a team either. But she needed to understand that it is important for you to be able to create consistency in your business and in your marketing, as well as take into consideration your time, your energy, and how you manage your schedule, right? So what we did was that we didn't just fully just plan things out because this is what she wanted to do or that, but we really took a step back and we understood that, hey, this is the amount of time that I have, that I truly, honestly have, the amount of energy and capacity that I have. And this is where I don't have energy and when I don't have the capacity to execute on those things. And just we became very, very realistic on those things. And then that allowed us to really create a marketing plan for her that was actually going to be able to be fully executed, right? For example, well, for me mostly, when I still work part-time in the ER. So on those days that I usually am exhausted from working all day, my energy peak is like on its lowest, right? So I know that I'm not going to be scheduling any business work or any like things that I got to do for my business on those afternoons that I come off work, because they're just simply not going to get done. It's simply just not going to happen. So I just have to really understand that capacity and understand, and just don't schedule anything to work on those days that I work in the hospital in the day, right? Because I'm not going to feel motivated to create content, to get on calls, to simply work on things that I need to work on. And especially if you're running a business that is relies on your energy, right? You're like most of the things that we do as an entrepreneur, as a, you know, as a online coach, or, you know, someone who has a service-based business, it's really energetic things that we're doing, right? So when we come to the table to write content, when we come to the table to execute, to create a video, we need to be on our best energy, right? Because that's what's gonna put us in kind of like that state of whether we get that client or not, whether we feel motivated to actually ask for the sale, to keep marketing our business, right? So our energy needs to be on point, right? Like I can't be on this video and talk to you, you know, with a drained energy and just feeling out of whack myself because I'm just doing it for the sake of doing it. It's just not going to work. Like we need to understand that our energy is very important, especially when it comes to marketing and selling, right? Selling. And we need to understand that it's not just about, you know, what's happening in our marketing, but what's going to happen in our day-to-day lives. So how we run our day-to-day lives also influences how we run our marketing, how we run our businesses. So taking all that into consideration, we need to establish a marketing plan that allows us to actually live our lives how we want to live our lives, and understand the energy and the capacity that we have. So for example, if you're a person like my client who has 2 kids, working a full-time job, she's not going to be able to fully execute on her marketing plan like a CEO that's been in business for 10 years, that has a full team on board, or that has, you know, that's posting every day, that's on these Facebook groups. Like you're not going to be able to execute at that level, right? So you need to be able to find a strategy that's going to work for you, that's going to work around your schedule. So for her, what we did to shift those things around is like we took into consideration her schedule, her time, and her energy and her capacity. And then we decided, hey, instead of thinking that we need to write 7 social media content every day, or like every week to post every day on Facebook groups or things, we created a strategy where she could only create content, 1 piece of content a day, and we can repurpose that same content throughout the whole week, right? So now she's able to have content for 1 piece of content distributed throughout the whole week, where she's being consistent with her marketing, and as well she's not being exhausted creating new content every day. You know, it's like it's just not realistic for her. So we had to shift that around, right? The second strategy is that we can't solely rely on being motivated in our business. And the reason why is because motivation is something that gets depleted over time, right? So it's something that gets depleted very quickly, especially when you're in the beginning stages of something new, something that you're not, you know, familiar with, right? So this means that you can't rely on being motivated in your business, especially if you feel like you're executing in your business and you're not seeing the results quite yet, right? You can't rely on being motivated. You can't rely on waiting for that inspiration to come to come to you, for you to write content, for you to be able to sell and, ask for the sell, right? Because it just simply doesn't work that way. You can't just be sitting here and expect people are going to come to you. You got to like actively do that. That's how business works. That's the basic foundation of marketing, right? So if you don't know, if you don't have like an idea of what is your level of energy, your level of capacity within a day-to-day basis, then you're going to be creating false expectations of yourself, of how many hours you need to be working. And most of that expectations is that you start thinking that you need to work so many hours in order for you to be successful, that you need to be creating much more content for you to be successful, when it's truly not true, right? When it's really not true, right? So we also create the assumption that in order to, be successful and be profitable and have the clients that we want to have, that we need to be executing at the level of business that someone else has been that is executing, someone who has been in the business or in the market for 10 years, right? And it's just simply not realistic. And we just have to just, confront that truth and be able to create a marketing plan that works for us and not against us, right? So we got to know in advance what our day-to-day obligations are, right? What's our capacity? What's our capacity within time, within energy, right? And our resources of like the money that we have, and also the ability for us to be able to fully execute on a top energy that we have, right? And then work your way around that and create a strategy that works around that, right? And schedule your work when you have the highest energy level, right? Not when you have the lowest energy level, right? So of course, there's also can be many other reasons why you don't feel motivated in your business. And most of those reasons can be like, having feelings of depression, feeling low in energy because of, something personal that's happening in your life. And that's totally okay. And if you are in that stage, you need to just either, get professional help, and by all means, take the time to process your feelings and to be able to heal, especially if you're in the trenches, if you're in, in that grief stage of your life. So, however, if you feel that you are inspired more often, but then some days you're not motivated in your business. So one day you are inspired to write content in your business, and then another day you're just truly not feeling motivated in your business. So you have these fluctuations of time. I want you to take these two other strategies that I have into consideration, right? So the first one is that we got to stop making your marketing about you. Yes, we got to stop making your marketing about you, because it's never about you. It's about the people that you're going to impact, the people that you're going to help, and how you're going to help them, right? So when you make your marketing about you, you're quickly going to lose motivation to keep going, because like you don't like you're if when you're making it about you, or making it about you getting the clients, or about you making, or about you wanting to succeed in this business, you're putting a hard stop on yourself, because most of the times we don't get that client right away. Most of the times it takes us months to get that first client, even when you start your business, or even when you already had a client before, it can take a little bit longer for you to get that next client, right? So when you are solely motivated because you want the client, because you want to get the results, and you're making it about yourself, yes, you are going to feel unmotivated when those clients don't come in at the time, and you're going to stop or pause or feel like you need to reinvent the wheel and do things differently, right? But when you stop making it about yourself, you start making it about your clients, about the impact that you're going to make, about the transformation that you're about to give them, then that's when things really start to change and really start to shift when it comes into your marketing plan, because now you're not executing for yourself, you're executing for someone else that you know needs you. And when you put other people and you are of service into like the mentality of actually helping other people, that's when you feel motivated and things really start to pick up and you see that consistency in your marketing, right? The next thing is that we want to plan for unmotivated days, right? So we want to first accept that we're humans, and we want to understand that we are not always going to feel motivated in our business, and we're not going to always feel motivated to get things done. So instead of beating yourself up and feeling unmotivated, what we need to do is just plan for those unmotivated days, right? So here's what I mean. If you know that your business strategy is to create one blog or video content that goes out each week, right? What you want to do is just first notice what are the days in which you'll have the highest energy, which you feel motivated to work, right? And then schedule time to batch those tasks together, right? So you've heard this before about badging, but this is what really creates consistency in your business, even when you don't feel motivated, right? So for example, I take Mondays mornings to write content. So I write as much content as I can, sometimes 3 to 4 blogs of 3 to 4 weeks of content ahead, right? And then I take those, the next day, I take Tuesdays to actually record these videos and record the content that I'm creating. And then Wednesdays, I take that time to schedule and those newsletters that go out and my social media content, breaking down the social media content, right? So I've been able to actually create a system for myself that creates consistency, even with the days that I don't feel motivated, right? So I am like, by the end of the week on Friday, I am pretty much very tired, exhausted. So I know that I'm not going to sit down and create content or schedule content on Fridays, because it's just simply not going to happen because I'm exhausted and my energy level is down. But I know that on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, those are my most motivated days, where I feel more of like my energy peak and I'm able to create at the highest level that I can, right? So in 3 days, I'm able to create 30 days worth of content because I'm able to batch them up and actually understand my energy, my capacity, and my time, right? So this allows me to be very consistent, therefore allows me to create trust with my audience. Well, even when I don't feel like doing shit the next day, right? Right. So this is how you create consistency in your marketing, but as well, it's how you stay sane without having the expectation that you need to be executing at the level that is not realistic for the time and the life, the stage in life in which you are right now. So now let's start a conversation over in the comments and tell me, what are you struggling to in your business? What are you struggling to feel motivated to market and sell your business, right? So if you're struggling to feel motivated to market and sell your business, I want you to tell me why you think that is, right? Are you putting too much on your plate? Are you setting expectations that are not realistic, right? So tell me in the comments, and we're going to continue the conversation here. I also want to invite you to an idea to action call. So this is a 45-minute call. Now we're going to hop on this call to discuss what are your next best steps in business, so you can be able to create a profitable business for yourself, and not only just understand what are your next best steps, but actually shift any perspective, any things that you want to talk about in this coaching session. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for reaching out and watching this video. I hope I get to work with you on this free coaching call, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.